do is to help you, encourage you to do this yourself, particularly if you're scared to do it, or if you have never done it. I hope nobody in here is a real good improviser or jazz player, because this isn't the go to another session. So what I'm going to try to do really fast, I hope I can do it all, is I'm going to try to teach you 3 songs. Okay? The first song I'm going to try to teach you is Hound Dog. And I picked things that I hope everybody knows. So first, we're going to start out by listening to a little of it, just to remind you.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. Well, you ain't no friend, you ain't no friend of mine. Well, except you was high.
I assume everybody knows this. Okay. Now, this is an example of what was called the 12-bar blues. Right? This is probably one of the most important musical forms created in the United States. Many different styles of music are based on the 12-bar blues. If you look at the second page of your handout, you will see where it says 12-bar blues, this chord progression, 1-1-4-1, 4-4-1-1, 5-4-1-1. Each Roman numeral represents 1 bar. Try that. You can put your headphones on. In fact, I can communicate with you that way, maybe a little bit more comfortably, and you can play. Let's see. This is just like cars. Stop beeping me, number 12. Okay, let's see. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, just try, get comfortable, be sure you understand the content of the chord. That shouldn't take you very long. It'll take your students a little longer. All right, and when you get comfortable with that, then I'd like you to turn to the back of that page where it says Realization of 12-Bar Boogie Woogie. These are several different ways that you can play this. As a beginner, you might just want to play the root of the 1 chord, the 4, and the 5, or you can try 5th, 1, 4, and 5, or you can try a 7th, which of all the easier versions will sound the best. 1, 4, and 5. Okay? Or you can go to any of the next 3, which is partial boogie woogie, complete boogie woogie, or alternate boogie woogie. And I don't want you really reading these. I want you just learning these. So pick whichever one you want to do. Okay? If you're very, very basic and terrified, pick the basic root chord version. If you're pretty sophisticated, take the alternate boogie woogie. Like that, okay? All right? And practice that progression. You'll have to turn back, okay, if you don't remember the progression. So I don't want you reading the bass line. That's why I put it on different pages. I don't want you reading the bass line. I want you thinking this is about playing by ear. So I don't want you reading the bass line, okay? So whichever, you're going to play along with me. I'm going to give you a tempo, and this is how it's going to work. Let's say you're just playing the bass note. So you'll go, this is our beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Here's the 4 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I'm going too slow. I'm going too slow. Sorry. Hang on. If you've never done this, you're going to be nervous. Okay, do you remember the tune in your head?
No.
Yeah. Who doesn't remember the tune?
I'm not old enough.
Okay, all right, so we're going to sing it. We're going to sing it.
Yeah, let's sing it first.
Ready? You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit, you ain't no friend of mine. Okay, should we just take it in stages? You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Just do that. Okay. You ain't never caught a rabbit, you ain't no friend of mine. Did that help you to sing it?
Uh-huh.
Singing is a good thing. Okay, are we getting that? Do we need to do it, sing it again or not? Do we need to sing it again or not? No? Sing it again. All right. You ain't nothing but a hound with her. Okay, you have to unplug so we can all hear it. Somebody's got to be in charge and count it.
I'll probably have to sing along and do it.
Okay, and the rest of us can sing. All right, somebody's going to be in charge there. You ready?
You said me, right?
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Carol.
Carol.
You're
Carol or
welcome to
Carolyn?
join me, Ken.
Carolyn? Okay, Carolyn's playing the bass and you're playing the tune. Yeah. Oh, you're playing, who's playing the tune? All right, you ready?
I think Ken wants to play.
You want to count in? Kathy?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Why did it come to 1? You. 1, 2.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Do I have a volunteer? Do I have a volunteer? I turned you off. I turned you off. I know how to use this thing. I'm aware of how to use it. Okay. Do I have a volunteer?
I'll try.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead.
Carolyn.
Unplug. Really good. All right, good. Okay, now somebody is going to do improvise using the blues scale. Okay, so like if she's going, yeah, like the tune in a jazz piece is called the head. Okay, so what a jazz pianist will do, they'll start out, they'll play the head, they'll play the tune, and then after, the end of the tune, they'll improvise. As Courtney said earlier today, anything will sound good. And would you like to try this? Okay, yeah, he wants to try it. You don't want to try it?
You can do it, Ken. You can do
Sure
it.
you can do it. I do it. So, can you do one round of the tune and then one chorus of the tune and then one chorus of improv?
He looks really worried.
You can say no. No, I'm talking to Ken. You can say no.
I'll try.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now listen, don't be like my class.
No.
Are you serious?
No, I've taught a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not an expert.
Yeah, well, then neither am I. Anybody else want to try? Yeah. You want to try?
Me?
Yes.
I'm trying to get the tune right.
imitate. Every kid loves to play.
But the third chord is D minor on the original.
It can be either. Right. Yeah, well, but in practice, a 2 and a 4 chord are all virtually interchangeable, okay? The original song, Heart and Soul, which is a real song, I think was a 2 chord. The progression was 1, 6, 2, 5, okay? But commonly students who play Heart and Soul, 1, 6, 4, 5. Pretty interchangeable. Okay? Look at this list of songs that use this progression on this. Look at this huge list. All of these songs use this progression. It's one of the most common progressions in pop music. And a student of mine was trying to work out this, what was it that Anthony was trying to work out? An Alicia Keys song?
The one I showed in there.
Yeah.
If I Ain't Got You.
If I Ain't Got You, he was having trouble figuring out the chord progression. And he said, help me with this. I know you don't have time to figure this out, but listen to this. And he played the first 8 bars of the verse, and it was this progression. I just started laughing because, I was working on this list, and there it was again in a very contemporary, it isn't just 50s rock and roll, it's still one of the most commonly used chord progressions. So a lot of times your students will, hear a pop like Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stand By Me is a song they all want to play, and that's the same progression. So, first thing is everybody can play Heart and Soul, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to play this as some. Okay, so what you want to do as we do this, again, you have the same kind of options on the other side for a left-hand accompaniment. So, I would like you to pick out a left-hand accompaniment that you would like to use, or something more sophisticated. Remember, I'm organizing this for a beginner. I'm not organizing this for somebody who has a lot of background. So for some people, a chord will be the best. And if we're gonna play Blue Moon today. Maybe that's the best they can do. Or or a broken chord. So pick out your thing and plug back in, please. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Generates canned accompaniments. Okay, so here's the one that I generated for Blue Moon. Listen for a second. Just listen. That's your introduction, and then that's when it starts. So excited. I'll turn it up. This is a wonderful program, by the way. It's very versatile, and it's really cheap. It's under $100. I mean, it's maybe like $70 for Band in a Box, and it's phenomenally versatile. You can record students' performances. It'll print out what they recorded. It'll print lead sheets. It's just really, I think, the best buy in software. Okay, y'all want to play? 2 bars, bum, 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 introduction, and then you commit. Here we go. Listen, listen. Intro. fancy, and you're actually not playing the melody. Okay, you're doing, I mean, that's okay. That's okay. But when your kids come in and they want to play a pop song, they want to hear that tune. They're going to want to be playing that tune. So what I'm looking for is a little bit of tune. You ready? Thank you for being so brave. And see, that was beautiful and that was simple, and it was beautiful in being simple too. It doesn't have to be really complicated and sophisticated to be beautiful. Another volunteer? This is like it is a class piano. Every day I get up and I teach class piano, and so I have to take my roster out and go, okay, no other volunteers? Thank you. Okay, shh. But everybody wants to play, but nobody wants to volunteer. Okay, here we go, but I have a volunteer now, so please listen. Quick intro. Here you go. Thank you, very good. Okay, quickly on to one more thing about cramming. Another common way to teach by ear, what I'm really sort of doing is modeling what I would do with this student who wants to learn a pop song. You saw some great videos in the other session. My favorite things, okay, I have two versions. I have one that says easier and one that says, plug in your pianos if you're going to play, please. One that says more difficult and one that says easier. That means there are fewer chords in one than the other. And on the other page you have a copy of lead sheets for this song. The one that is handwritten, that looks like it's hand notated, is the harder version. Okay, it goes with the page that says more difficult. Okay, the one that is like 3/4 of the page is the easier version. So you should look at that. Whichever version, in other words, what makes something harder or easier is the number of chords. So if you look at the easier one, not only are there fewer chords used, there are simpler chords. Like you'll see just a simple E minor in a C major, A minor 7, but on the other side you see mostly 7th chords, E minor 7, F sharp minor 7, C major 7. So it's more difficult in that it has more chords, but it's also more difficult in that it has 7s on almost all the chords. Alright, so if you want to do the easier one, I think as a group, maybe to go through this, we need to pick one of these versions. Easier one? Easier one, okay. The first thing you want to be sure that you can do is be sure you understand all these chords, okay? And I would hope that you would understand most of them. I mean, just E minor, right? C major. Try to go through them with me. A minor 7. E7.
Oh,
We're looking at my favorite things, which is easier.
This one?
Well,
Okay.
yes, but we're looking at the handout, the finale handout that I made. Okay, this. We're just making sure we understand the chords. The only kind of tricky one is that F sharp diminished 7th.
yeah, the easier one.
Easier. Okay, B7. And if you're, let's face it, some of us are like playing chords from a lead sheet better than others, okay? So if you're not so good at, picking out a chord from a lead sheet, that's okay. All you really have to do is play the bass note, right? Remember, all we have to do is play the bass note. So if I take this lead sheet, which I might give a student, and I'm looking at the lead sheet now, this is called a lead sheet. It's got a melody and chord symbols. I might say to my student, we might work on the melody. You can do this with me if you want. Let's do the melody. Just the right hand melody. 1, 2, 3. stop there. And I can go back, I can just play roots. C. A. I haven't even had to move my hand. D, G, C, G, C, F sharp to B. Okay? That's all, it already sounds good. You know, it already sounds good. It's not hard to do that. Then I want to, make it more sophisticated. I can make a play perfect fifth. Sorry. That's not so great, but it's okay. That's not a perfect fifth there, remember. That's a tritone, that's F sharp to C. Okay, I had a couple of chords I didn't like. I didn't like the way A with a perfect fifth and D with a perfect fifth. So I might try a seventh. You can see that on the handout. A seventh will give you, this is on brown paper packages. No, that's a better sound. So the seventh will work, just as here I'm adding a seventh to the G as well. Okay? Then I can just take my fifth and make a little waltz space out of it. Sorry, I shouldn't have changed. Change to C. A. Okay, you get the idea? And then you can just make it, see my left-hand accompaniments. Sorry. My favorite one is the bottom one. If you play the root, and then you play the third and the seventh, so the bottom where it says adds the seventh, it's an E minor, so I'm playing E in the bass, and I'm jumping up and I'm playing a third, and then a perfect fifth above that. See that at the bottom? Sorry. All you have to do is play around with it. Has anybody never done this before in this group? You've never done? Are you getting it a little bit? Not at all.
Well, probably not. On the chord sheet, it has a D7 after that A minor 7.
Yeah.
But on this sheet, it has a D9.
Yes. I just left out. I just made it a 7/7/9 just to make it
Okay.
easier. I'm always into simplicity. So the idea that what are you having trouble doing?
Well, the bass, I always play with the bass anyway, but I can't pick out the melody. Now this I can read anything.
Right.
But I can't pick it out.
Well,
I've
you
never
can't
tried.
do it.
I've always just read.
You can't do it on the first try if you can't do it. I mean, some people have different abilities with everything. For example, I'm not a very good sight reader. Okay, I'm an average professional musician for classical or pianist with a doctorate. I should be a better reader, but I'm an average reader. And the more I read, the better I get at reading. And if you have never used your ear to play, you won't be good just because somebody says do it. You get to be good because you try it. And there is nothing more important as a musician than having a developed ear. And I think it's kind of criminal that most classically trained pianists can't play by ear. I think it's criminal that I can't play by ear. And I think that I shouldn't be a teacher of children. I'm a college professor and I teach a certain thing, okay? But when I work with kids, And I think it's actually, I have some moral issues with teaching children and not asking them to use their ear, not engaging them in that process. I don't think that's right. I think, and piano teachers who don't ever play by ear, they say, oh, but they'll never learn to read. Well, you know, and my response to them is, do you play by ear? You know, I mean, why is it better to read than to play by ear? It's not. It's no, I mean, why do we think we're so much better? Because we read music and then all these other people that actually, you know, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, are they not great? Some of the greatest musicians ever? They don't read, they're blind. You know, I mean, why do we walk around acting so superior because we're classical pianists and we read? You know? And I just have some problems with that. And the older I get, and the more people, different kinds of people, I mean, I teach keyboard skills at a university that has a jazz program and a media program, as well as the traditional music ed and performance and pedagogy curriculums. So when I get a jazz player in my class, they are the envy of the other kids because they can do all kinds of things and they know their theory better, you know. And so I've had to reevaluate my philosophical beliefs a lot.